Hello, Elaine Solomon. I just read your request a short while ago this afternoon. This is Saturday, June 11, I think it is, right? Something like that. Anyway, and I understand you're a huge Michael Landon fan. Boy, have I got some stories for you. 2 or 3 stories about Michael Landon. By the way, in case you don't know who I am or don't remember me, my name is Dan McBride, and I played Henry Riley on Little House on the Prairie. Okay, I'm the character that would come into Nellie's restaurant and periodically come into the restaurant looking for a nice home-cooked, warm meal. And, of course, it would end up with me getting into an argument or a fight with Nellie or Harriet. It always ended up, I don't think I ever left in a good situation. I think it was always a fight, an argument with Nellie or Harriet. Other people that, such as Caroline, we got along fine. Didn't have any arguments with her. But usually it was Harriet and especially Nellie, where it always ended up in some sort of chaotic mess. Anyway, but you're a big, huge fan of Michael Landon. Let me tell you how I first met Michael, because I love the story. I love it personally. My agent, not really too early in my career, but fairly early in my acting career. I'd done a few things, a movie or two, a commercial or two, maybe a TV show or two. Anyway, but my agent called one day and said, "Dan, you got an audition at Paramount Studios next Thursday at 2:15. So, a room 222, right?" So I show up at the gate at Paramount Studios, and the guard there at the gate directs me to room 222. I go up over there, knock on the door, go on in to the lobby. There's no one there but me, not a soul but me, and in the lobby. And in a few minutes, not too long, a door opens facing me, and a lovely lady walks out or stands in the doorway and says, and smiling and friendly, and says, "Dan, how are you? It's so good to see you." And I'm thinking, I gotta be in the wrong room, because Hollywood is not this nice or not this friendly. It's usually very cold, All right, who's next? You come on in. Yeah, come on in. Anyway, but she was very nice and very friendly. She motioned me to come into her office and sat down. It turns out her name is Susan Suchman. I'll explain who she is in a moment. But Susan Suchman is her name. And anyway, it was a cold reading, meaning I did not have an advanced copy of the script or anything. So she hands me the script. We began reading 3 or 4 or 5 scenes, 6 scenes, maybe, I don't know how many, quite a few. And I remember Susan, I don't even know if she even told me her name, to be honest with you, at the time. As I said, my agent just simply said, show up at 2:15 Thursday, and that's about all I knew. Anyway, so we began to read from the script, as I say, 3 or 4 or 5, maybe 6 scenes. And we did it once, and Susan says, do it this way. Okay, do it. And we did it that way. Well, can you do it this way? And I'm thinking, boy, I really don't have the character, do I? I don't understand the scenes, or I don't know what the character's all about. Well, what I discovered later was she was just trying to see if I could take direction. That's what that was all about. Apparently, I was doing fine, but I didn't know it, because I was judging by saying, try it this way. I didn't know what was going on, or I didn't think I had the character. Anyway, so we did it. In a few minutes, or after we did that, she said, "Dan, would you mind stepping out in the lobby, wait in the lobby for a few minutes?" So I go back out in the lobby, and maybe 5 minutes goes by, maybe 10. I don't recall how long, but still, no one in the lobby but me. And once again, the door opens. Susan comes out to the doorway and says, "Dan, could you come in, please?" So I go in there, and standing by her desk, before when I was in there, it was just Susan and me. Now I come back in there, and standing by her desk is Michael Landon. And I remember exactly what went through my mind. Luckily, I didn't say it, but I was thinking it. I remember when I first saw him, I'm thinking, what in the world is Michael Landon, doing here? What's he doing here, right? Well, Susan says, "Dan, I'd like for you to meet Michael Landon." Michael held out his hand. We shook hands. and Michael sat down on a couch on the sofa to my left. Susan's desk is slightly to my right, slightly in front to the right. Anyway, so Susan and I, we start reading the scenes again, and I'm aware that Michael has now gotten off the couch. He's on his hands and knees, and he's scooted up, looking straight up at me. He's really right there in front of me on his knees, and he's looking straight up at me, watching every movement, everything, every expression, everything, watching it. Luckily, I didn't let it distract from me, but I was aware that he was there. Anyway, we finished the scenes, again, the 4, 5, 6 scenes, and Michael scoots back up, gets back on the couch, and he turns to Susan, and he says, "Wonderful, just wonderful." At that point, Susan says, "Well, thank you very much, Dan." And I walk out. Nothing. I mean, that was it. I mean, as far as any kind of explanation, whatever. I still have no idea what I was auditioning for. The scenes didn't really tell me much as far as I didn't know if it was a commercial, a TV show, I had no idea. Anyway, but as I'm driving home after the audition, I keep thinking, I heard Michael say, when we finished, I heard him say, "Wonderful, wonderful." But, in previous auditions, I've had a similar experience where someone, a casting director or director, someone saying that's very good, very nice, and of course I didn't get the job, right? But I kept thinking, Michael Landon says it was wonderful. Next morning I get up and I'm still thinking about that audition and thinking about what Michael Landon had said in the audition. Wonderful. So I went and I committed the #1 cardinal sin in acting. The #1 cardinal sin in acting is you never call back to the studio, you never call back to the casting person to ask if you got the part or not. No, it's the old thing, don't call us, we'll call you, right? Well, I committed the #1 cardinal sin. I called back to Prairie Studios. Susan comes on the line, and I said, "Susan, I want to know, did I get the part from yesterday?" And Susan says, "Of course you did. You were wonderful. You were marvelous. You're going to go be on location. You're going to be doing this, going to be doing that." And I thought, well, no one told me. Anyway. Actually, a script does arrive a few days or a week or two later, and it's a movie. And we're headed off to Arizona, Mexico to shoot a movie. Not maybe for another couple of months or so. And I find out, kind of indirectly, that Michael Landon, the reason why he was there in that audition was because he's going to be directing the movie. That's how I met Michael. That's how I met Michael Landon. Now, we shoot the movie down in Arizona, Mexico. And give me one more little story about that movie and how Michael Landon was. Well, two stories. One, we were working out on location. We were staying at the Hilton Hotel in Tucson, Arizona, but we had like a 2-hour drive, a 2.5-hour drive out to the location site every morning. So I've been having to get up about 4 o'clock in the morning, and we were leaving by 5 to be on the set by, say, 7 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, out in the middle of the desert, out in the middle of nowhere, it's a little bitty old crossroad called Aravaca. I think there was only 2 buildings there, and we brought in one other building, so it was a 3-building little bitty community at the most. Anyway, but one night I was walking from my hotel room at the Hilton, walking back towards the Hilton I don't recall why I was going back towards the main building, but I'm walking along outside in the courtyard, and I'm just kind of thinking and walking. I see someone's walking towards me, but I don't pay attention because I'm in my own little world. And as the person gets closer and closer, I hear the person say hi, but I keep on walking. But just as he got just about even with me, I kind of glanced up, and it was Michael Landon. He was walking towards me as I'm walking towards him. Anyway, and he had said hi. I didn't respond. I didn't say hi back. I didn't even turn and say, "Michael, oh, I'm sorry, Michael, oh, it's you." I just kept on walking, and I thought, oh, no, I blew it. I'm thinking, he's going to fire me. He's going to, get on me or something. But no, he never said anything. he's just that kind of a guy. Now, let me give you one more quick story. We're shooting a scene there in Aravaca. We shot in several different locations, but Aravaca was a main location for a while. Anyway, we were shooting a scene inside a church, but it was our kind of our community building, at least from the standpoint of the movie and the script. And we had a bunch of extras. There must have been 35, 40 extras sitting in the pews and the tables and everything. Not tables, but in the seats. And Michael was directing. It's been a long, hot day. We're out in the desert. It's Arizona, and I knew that Michael wanted to get this one last shot in before we called it a day. It was probably about 5:30 or so, maybe, I don't know, but it's getting late. And I knew he wanted to get this one last shot in before we call it a day. And it was been a hot day, still hot. And as I say, 35 or 40 extras. And in between takes or whatever, they'd get very loud and very noisy. And Michael was trying to get everything organized and get everything set up and make sure we were ready to go and everything as far as scene after scene or shot after shot. And I really thought, I said, you know what, to myself, because I was aware of how restless and how noisy the extras were, because they're not really, they have nothing to do, sit there and just, so they get to talking and buzzing around and stuff. And I thought, if anyone's going to be entitled to lose their cool, to blow up and scream at the extras, to be quiet, settle down, we're trying to get a shot here, Michael never did. He never lost his cool. As a matter of fact, I never saw him in all the years that I knew him and worked with him. I never saw him once lose his temper, lose his cool. To me, he was always very calm and collected and didn't mind any distraction. It didn't bother him that much, or he didn't let it get to him. But that was Michael. Let me give you one more quick example of how. By the way, Michael Landon was with the different TV shows and commercials and plays that I did. I have to say, I thought Michael was the best director I ever worked with. He was always very nice, respectful, very pleasant to me. You wouldn't find, from my viewpoint, a better guy. Not a better guy. Anyway, let me tell you one more about Michael. We shot the movie, and when we were finished with the movie, we had to do some post-production work back at Paramount Studios. That was where we had to do some post-production work. Come back in, do some looping, some dubbing. Anyway, when I was on Paramount lot one day, I thought, well, let me go down to where Little House is shooting. I knew that's where they shot Little House. Of course, I was not on Little House at that point, just the movie in which Michael was the director. So I found my way to the studio where the Little House was being shot there on the Paramount Studios. And when I went in, I was very quiet. Of course, it's all dark. The sound stage, it's very, very dark, except for the set where they're shooting a scene. It's all lit up, but everything else is dark, 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 right? But I very quietly, because I didn't want to disturb or make any noise, so I very quietly walked into the sound stage, and it's very large, and walked over to roughly where the area where they were setting up and shooting a scene for Little House. Well, Michael, he is sitting down in one of the chairs, observing something that's going on or giving some directions. Anyway, but somehow, and I don't know how he did this, but he spotted me. Now, I'm not on Little House. I have nothing to do with Little House. I've just done that movie, and that's all I've ever done regarding Michael Landon. Anyway, but somehow, with all the crew and the cast members sitting around, somehow he spotted me. He recognized me, and it's maybe been a month or so since we last saw each other shooting the movie down in last time we were in Arizona, in Tucson. Anyway, he spotted me in the crowd of the cast and crew of Little House. He stops what they're doing. He stops directing, shuts for the moment, and he walks over to me, and shakes my hand. He says, "Oh, it's great to see you again." Now I'm more. I feel more awkward because I'm thinking the cast and crew are looking at me, and who is this guy beating me? That Michael Landon momentarily stops working, stops shooting, directing, and comes over to say hi to me. I'm telling you. That might have been the most precious moment I had with Michael. Not meeting him in the audition, because that took me by surprise and I didn't know what was going on. But him walking over in the sound stage, shutting down and momentarily stopping the shooting of Little House, to greet me and to say hi to me. That's probably my most precious moment with Michael Landon. And he was my favorite director. Anyway, I've gone on too long. But next time, I'll tell you a few more stories about Michael. Nothing but good stories. Always good stories with Michael. But Helene, I want to say that I agree with you. He's probably one of my favorite people. I know he's one of my favorite people as well. I'm so glad that you're a Little House fan. Keep watching Little House. And if you want to hear more stories, just give me a buzz. And I'll tell you more wonderful stories about Michael or Harriet or Nellie, even Nels, okay? And Carolina as well. It's great to see you. It's great that you're a fan. And we'll see each other again. Bye now.